From Milan High School in his 7th season. Josh Blankinship and Milan opens up their season at North Decatur on the 28th. Please welcome Josh Blankinship.
I'll get all my thank yous out of the way first, but I couldn't be more thrilled to be here and just be able to talk about Milan basketball. I think this is, one of the rare, occasions in Indiana, and I don't think a whole lot of places do this. It just goes to show, how much all of you appreciate Southeastern Indiana basketball. So thanks, Coach Mormon and Oldenburg, for putting this event on. I think it's just a great way for all of us together and start our seasons off right. I'm a little biased. I think we probably have one of the best administrations in the state in terms of their athletic support. We've got former head coaches as our superintendent and Paul Ketchum. Our principal is Ryan Langferman, who's a former football coach as well. And John Pryfogel is our athletic director, and he's a Milan grad. All three of those guys are tremendous supporters, not only of Milan athletics, but of everything that we've got going on at Milan. So I cannot thank, those three guys enough. In regards to our basketball program, probably the healthiest that it's been in my time in 7 years, which seems amazing to me, considering I can still remember my first game as a varsity head coach at Hauser with about Hauser's 3-point lead, about 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the next thing I know, I look up and we're down by 20. Ended up getting beat by 20. And then we were fortunate enough to play North Decatur the next weekend. Same situation. 3 or 4 point game, couple minutes to go. Look up at the clock, down by 25. Thanks, Coach Nobbies. Fortunately, for us, we've been able to have a few games where, we were able to get those guys back. But I think this year might be harder than ever, knowing what those two guys have coming back. We're going to be pretty fortunate this year. We've got 3 great seniors, in particular, one who, you could almost consider him a 4-year starter. He started a few games as a freshman. His name's Kyle Meyer, 6'5". He was our leading scorer last year, which really says a lot because we didn't score a whole lot of points last year. We might be the only team in the state who set a school record for defense and won 5 games. That makes a lot of sense. You would think that if you set a school record for defense, you'd be able to have a winning record. But when you shoot 40% from the field, 25% from 3, you're not going to win too many games. Fortunately for us, we had a very, very, very talented JV group that we're going to rely on heavily for the next 3 years. Another senior for us is Peyton Healy, probably the most improved player in our program, without question. He had to miss a little time this summer due to some commitments for football camps, but he was able to go to D1 with us, and in those 13 games I think we played up at D1, I was probably more pleased with him than any player that we had. So for him to be able to give us a spark, and he's one of those kids that he's kind of developed that mid-range game, which I think in today's game is basically non-existent. Everybody, basically wants to stand outside the three-point line and shoot threes, and it's just kind of filtered down from the NBA. But he's a great mid-range player, and we're really looking forward to him, contributing to our program. Josh Bixler is a 6'1" senior. Probably get spot minutes for us. If he can rebound and defend, he'll be okay. We're going to be very guard-oriented, without question. We have 3 juniors who are going to see significant minutes. Blaine Beck started about half the games for us last year. He's also the quarterback of our football team. Our football coach, Rob Page, has nominated him for All-State. Threw for over, I think, 27 or 2,800 yards, 27 touchdowns. 17 of those touchdowns went to another player, basketball player of ours, who I'll talk about here in a minute. But just a great athlete and a great kid, and comes from a great family. Another junior for us is Jordan Burton, 5'10", 5'11". Could be our starting point guard, but he's such a great scorer, we're probably going to put him, off the ball. and try to get him more involved that way. And with that being said, I talked about our JV team earlier. Our JV team went 17-4 last year, which is the best record Milan's JV team has ever had. They won the county tournament, won the Waldron tournament, just had a fantastic season, fantastic group of kids. And the bright side is we started 5 freshmen on that team. 4 of those 5 freshmen are going to see significant minutes on our varsity. And we could legitimately start 4 sophomores if we wanted to. I don't think that we will. Those 4 sophomores, one of them will be our starting point guard. His name is Austin King, also a football player. Just a savvy, level-headed kid, and he is a bulldog. And I kind of, those are the kind of kids that that myself and I think, another guy sitting here, Coach Nobby, when we play his group at North Decatur, sometimes it just really kind of pisses you off because, they're physical, they get after it, but you also have to appreciate those kind of players because there's not a whole lot of those guys around anymore. Another sophomore, Jacob Burton, he is basically a baseball kid, so we were able to see him a lot in the fall. Was able to improve his jump shot quite a bit, which is something that we challenged him to do. So he'll see significant minutes. And then we've got a set of twins, Jed Minnick and Zach Minnick, 2 completely different players. One of them is more of a kind of a slasher, about 6'1", 6'2", and then that's Zach. And then Jed, we'll probably list him at 6 foot, but he's probably 5'9.5". Coaches have a tendency to list that. Except for Jacksonville, it's legit. They got 2 guys 6'8", legit. I'm still trying to figure out how we're gonna block those guys out. Jed's one of those kids who, to be real honest with you, is another bulldog. He'll run through a brick wall for you. If we get him to defend a little bit better, and I think he'll have a really good all-around game. But he's a really, really good shooter. We could probably throw him in our starting lineup if we wanted to as well. That's basically going to be our core group. We lost 4 seniors last year, but we're really looking forward to the next 5 or 6 years with Milan basketball with some of the kids that obviously that have moved up from our JV, some freshmen that we've got coming in that were coached last year by Randy Combs. Randy Combs is going to be our 8th grade coach again. Obviously he's a member of the Ripley County Hall of Fame, head coach at Milan for 14 years, I believe. Had a lot of great players come through in his time. Some of those guys have been able to come back and give back to our basketball program. I think one of the best things that we do to promote our program is probably our alumni weekend and our golf scramble. Somebody was talking about their golf scramble earlier. I think it was Diz. They had 100 players come back. We had 97 players come back and play in our alumni outing. I couldn't speak, any more highly of some of the guys that come back and that are such great supporters of our basketball program. Alumni weekend is the same. We have, I guess we call it an old-timers game. But there are some guys, from the area. John Kaplinger is a Milan grad. And works here in Batesville locally now. I believe his son is playing for Batesville, I believe, Coach Garrett. But he is if you know John, you see him in the area, just remind him that he is an alumni game legend. I think he scored 30 points last year in our alumni game. He works over at Batesville Chrysler. I think he's got a lot of free time, spends a lot of time over at the local YMCA. I've never seen a guy get up more shots than John Kaplinger in an alumni game, but that's probably why he had 30. Our 7th grade coach is Jeff Stutler, who is also a former head coach at Milan. He coached the girls, I think, for 7 or 8 years. And we're in the same boat as Jacksonville, and I know as some of the others, these guys sitting over here to my right, we're part of the Dirt Road Basketball League, which is run through Union County and Connorsville. There's a lot of host schools around the area, so if you're bored on a Sunday, basically you can come to about any local school and catch a 2nd through 6th grade game on Sundays, and I think that stuff's very important. A lot of great coaches. We're like everybody else. We got them all the way down to 2nd grade. Tony Clark, Mike Knowlton coach our 2nd grade. Our 3rd grade is coached by Brian Voss and Steve Ward. 4th grade, is actually going to be coached by Missy King, who is my starting point guard's mom. And then Bobby Davis coaches our 5th grade and 6th grade. Our 6th grade is coached by Daniel Yorn. So we got him going all the way down to 2nd grade, which is a great thing for our basketball program. Lastly, in terms of games, we made a few schedule changes. We, for some reason, decided to pick up 4A East Central. And I said this last year, we got in a tournament down at North Harrison with Greensburg. Luckily for us, we were beat in the first round and didn't have to play Greensburg in the championship. That's kind of always my plan. I kind of look ahead, and we would like to play Greensburg in the championship game of something. I'm still not sure we're going to be able to pull that off. We stuck in with Calumet from up in the region. I don't really foresee you playing in a consolation game anytime soon. When is the last time you played in a consolation game? I mean, I can't remember one. So hopefully we'll be able to get past, the North Harrison Cougars and be able to play in the championship game of our own tournament. We're hosting that this year at MILAN. Greensburg hosts next year, so we'll probably have to play Carmel. There's no telling who coach is going to bring in. Hopefully he brings in, some lightweight school that maybe we'll have a chance to beat. I don't know, but we'll probably get stuck with Carmel or North Central or one of those schools. I don't know. Lastly, I'm really very lucky to be here tonight. Today is my youngest son's first birthday, so my wife was gracious enough to let me out of the house and come speak about our basketball program. And then we have a 4-year-old son as well, who I'm hoping, I'll be able to get in the gym a little bit this spring with some of our maybe kindergartners. I don't know. He shoots at home on a 6-foot goal, I guess. And I was told by a coach, if you can get him to shoot on a 7-foot goal as a 4-year-old, that'll be pretty good. And I forgot to mention our JV coach who's been with me for 2 years now, Drew Young. He could not be with us here tonight. He had to go find out the sex of his first child, whether it's going to be a boy or a girl. I have not heard the news yet. I know he's praying for a boy. I know I prayed for 2 boys and was very lucky to have 2 boys. But I couldn't be luckier to have Coach Young as a part of our staff. And lastly, I don't know if you know or not, but MILAN did win the state championship in 1954. It's like a running joke with people, and I think people really don't appreciate that as much as they should, and what that team was able to accomplish. And we're lucky enough tonight to have one of those state championship team members in the crowd, Mr. Glenn Butt. I couldn't be more fortunate to be at the school that I'm at because of how supportive, those guys are in coming back and giving back to our basketball program. I probably know Ray Kraft more than any of them. I've been able to play a lot of golf with Ray, and he's had a lot of great stories about MILAN basketball and his days playing at Butler with Tony Hinkle and all those guys. So just very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. Really looking forward to a great season ahead of us. Hopefully, with the group that we've got coming back, we'll be able to make a little noise in our conference, and maybe even in our sectional. But we'll definitely have our hands full with the likes of North Decatur and South Ripley. Obviously, 2 very, very talented teams coming back, but we'll give it our best shot. There's no doubt about that. Thank you for coming out tonight. Enjoy your break, and we'll see you on the hardwood. Thank you.